We're standing here at Terminal 46 in downtown Seattle to install subsea cable from Terminal 46 to bring power up to Pier 66. Currently, when cruise ships come in, they have to keep their engines running.
Environmentally, the ships can burn up to 500 gallons an hour while they're at rest loading passengers. And a 12-hour turnaround on a ship, and then a ship every day, that's a lot of fuel.
This project will allow the cruise ships, when they come in, to turn off all of that and they'll run solely on shore power.
And the idea that's less pollutions into the atmosphere, and it'll help keep the air clean in Seattle.
Because of the lay of the land down here, the proximity of all these buildings and everything, and extensive construction going on downtown, it was not viable to run power across land.
From the time we were awarded the job, we had to write an elaborate installation plan. Then we had to design the conduits for each end to pull into land. And then we had to modify some of our equipment to accommodate the bending radius of the cable. All that will culminate into 2 to 3 days to lay this cable. So it's 3 months of work for 3 days of work.
And everything we've spent the last almost 6 weeks putting together intensively after we've done the planning, mobilizing the barge, bringing the crews together and everything, we'll tear it all apart, put it on trucks and haul it away.
We mobilized the barge largely in Tacoma, and then we moved up here to Terminal 46.
The cable was delivered in an 84-ton tub.
It's approximately 30 foot in diameter, about 15 foot tall. It isn't heavy by cable standards, but it required a heavy lift ship to get it here. The prime contractor we're working with, Orion, had one of their larger derricks to be able to lift it to transfer it onto our barge for our operation.
We will go to Pier 66. We'll have what's called a tractor tug on our stern. A conventional tug has propellers and rudders. A tractor tug has omnidirectional propulsion. They can not only hold a very tight course and a small corridor, but they can hold station like hovering a helicopter. So we'll have a tractor tug on our stern, and we'll have a conventional tug on our side, which will essentially act as a bow thruster. The term is dynamic positioning, DP, and we've got really top shelf captains that can do that. So we pull into Pier 66, tie up to the pier. There'll be a winch up on Pier 66 with a wire down under the pier through the conduit attached to our cable.
We've got a specialized cable tower that helps uncoil the cable. If you wind it too tight, it'll torque and kink on itself. And then we pull it out with a linear cable engine. Some people call them caterpillars. For a reason, it has an opposing rubber tracks on it that squeeze the cable over a long distance. So you're not point loading the cable in any one point, and you have good control, because we're working on about 260 foot of water, the deepest out in the middle going across Puget Sound. It drops off rapidly from the dock area.
We'll pull the submarine cable off the barge, over our chute, under the pier, up onto the pier to the final termination point. We'll have divers in the water at that time watching the cable into the conduit. When that's complete, we drop the lines off the pier and then maneuver the tugs while we deploy the cable on the seafloor all the way along the route out to 250 feet of water and back into Pier 46. All that time we'll have a remote control vehicle monitoring the touchdown. As we deploy the cable off the barge, the ROV will confirm that we're putting the cable in the right spot. Also, that it'll watch for obstacles and watch for terrain issues that we have to adjust for. And then once we arrive at Pier 46, we secure the barge to the dock, and then we float the balance of the cable out into the bay on inflatable buoys. And then we pull the cable under the pier up to the splice vault. At that point, we'll have 2 divers in the water. We'll have a diver cutting the bags off as they arrive into the conduit, and the second diver monitoring the shape of the cable offshore. And when we're all done, all the bags will be cut off, the cable will be on the bottom, and then the ROV will swim from one end to the other just for a confirmation survey. And then we tear the barge apart and go home.
It's a pleasure to watch other people work and be able to learn from them. And I feel that Brennan has done a great job at rising to the occasion and constantly forces us to become better.
We've got an elaborate bunch of equipment, state-of-the-art as far as telemetry and navigation, but none of it's any good without good people. We've got Brennan employees that we can count on. We've got contractors that are the best at what they do. You have one shot at this, and you have to have the right weather, you have to have the right crew, and you have to get it right.